Now I talked about UX testing. So yes, we test prototypes on the users. Then we are doing this UX design. What about the user interface design? What the hell is that then? We are still drawing something, yeah? And we are still animating interactions. So what's interface? Or more globally, like a door can be interface when you just say that I would call it UX is that I have new building, apartment building, and we have walls which are not painted yet. We have door holes there, but we have not had the doors yet. But when the doors are brought, then you can really press the door and open. So it's an interface to get to the room, yeah? So a few points about user interface design, how I like using it. So let's start with the question first. I really wanted to ask it in the beginning, but I'm not thinking it's a really right moment to do it right now. What is design? Do you have any suggestions? More? What is design? Okay.
The way things are there, the way things appear, everything is design.
Mm-hmm. More? What is design? Okay. So, what the hell is this? What do you think? Somebody in the Minecraft camera from the top? No? Okay, let's just imagine a heart, you know, this love symbol, where this arrow is through the heart. Amor launches the arrow through the heart. Somebody's in love, yeah? Love symbol, heart with an arrow. Just imagine. Close your eyes, yeah? Open your eyes. Okay? Is it something like that? Okay. Too realistic? Okay. Classical symbol of love, yeah? So this is, everything is logical, yeah? We have arrow, we have heart, we have a technical description that art has to be through the arrow, but maybe it should be something like that, yeah? So this thing here maybe was too abstract, you agree? Did somebody figure out it's heart and arrow? No? And this one is maybe too authentic or too real, yeah? So, but when you're designing something, you cannot just throw everything which is logical and authentic, etc. And you cannot make it too abstract or super minimalist that people don't really associate to surrounding experiences. So it has to be this kind of in the balance. So I would like to call design as a conveyor of information. So the way I can design this is really that I design a note where I write that I will give you 100 euros if you go out of the door. I give it to you. And then if the design works, he says that, okay, nice, it was nice to meet you, and just walks out. So I have designed something which makes him to do something, yeah? So I conveyed information using design to him. This is my definition of that. There are many, of course. But I would like to focus on some points when I'm designing something, what I'm focusing on. First thing is design semantics. So when you're designing something, you are not just designing what you are told, which is usually customer says to agency, that throw this box here and this box there and this text there. No, actually you're doing a little bit bigger meaning to this, what you are doing, and you understand that it can somehow influence people's emotions and experience, etc. So you avoid vulgarity, so you don't, it can be really fashionable to do something which is in fashion right now, like, oh wow, this is gradients, 3D, some pastel stuff is in fashion right now, and then you do some kind of software to people with disabilities, yeah? And when you put this design, which is in fashion right now, to the software, which is for people with the disabilities, and they have to use it in next 5 years. At this moment, you were maybe a rock star of like designing, like super, oh, it's in fashion. But in next years, it goes, what happens with the fashion? It goes out of the fashion, except, I don't know, Coco Chanel and Burberry, etc. So usually fashion like goes out of the fashion. So bigger meaning, and you don't match things that shouldn't match in the first place. So here is like color wheel. So how to use the color wheel, you have seen it in the PowerPoints and Word and other places. So usually opposing colors match. If I want to put this, put just blue and red side by side, then usually people perceive it as not so beautiful. But when you put some white in the middle, it's quite okay. It's a French flag, okay? Yeah, so that's how you design it. Or you can have this kind of three color palettes. You can just have this imaginary Mercedes-Benz sign here. So whatever 3 colors are on the color wheel, they match together as well. So this is one of the key things to understand. And of course, Adobe Color tool, which is available. It's really easy to use that, which is really available to. Another thing is design syntax. So the God is in the details, as you know, yeah. So you match several components by adjusting again, and sometimes customer is asking designer, what the hell are you doing so long with like designing things? So actually they are doing the syntax part. They are matching, trying like how this looks now, and then finally it's ready. Correct? And then you have another thing, you have some syntax rules, how you place the typography. For this, I always use grids, and before I'm designing something, I'm establishing a grid system, and then I'm going to do placing the elements. But actually this came already from 100 years ago when the newspapers first time were published, like in like 18th century or so. So and the same approach is still used for the responsive web design. So you can imagine how useful is that. So grid always helps while designing. So you want to design something beautiful, always use the grid. So that's the for sure thing. And same fonts as possible as well. If you're having 10 different fonts on the design, then, then it can be not so beautiful. Another thing is design pragmatics. So if you design something, it's timeless and clean, and elegance is opposing vulgarity, and it's also responsibility in designing. So if it's elegant, then this design works for many, many years, and customer doesn't have to change their software system design every year to be in fashion. Some do, but it's not, with some services like social care or medicine, it's not so critical to do this kind of fashion stuff all the time. And this is like iPhone 4 from more than 5 years ago with some Burberry website, and this design probably works still. You agree? It's still in fashion because it's elegant. And how the user interface is created in, let's say, Figma or Sketch or other tools, this kind of, it's called like artboards are used. First I designed mobile views, then I designed tablet and desktop views, and then using tools like InVision app or others, I can then animate these views and just have the user testing. Somebody's on the mobile phone and they can really click through the prototype really quickly. And you have some Avocado design system management tools, versioning tools available, which help to keep the designs up to date. So design is created using artboards. It's like drawing sheets, they are usually visible. And also the artboards uses the design system, which is based on, so to say, atomic design, that the design is built out of the components, and the components then are reused. Or you just draw one component and you reuse it on different artboards. So quite hot user interface design tools right now. Photoshop is still hot, yeah, good news. Then Sketch, then Figma is actually taking the market share of the Sketch. I hope it gets quicker, so I can do my ninja work in Figma. And also Zeppelin is really important tool, and I will focus in a moment also on the Zeppelin, what it is and how it works. Okay. So once again, just summarizing, user interface design efficiency, you're using component libraries and reusing reusable design components, so to say, like reusing buttons, reusing the icons, reusing some kind of form fields, some date picker fields, etc. But what's going to happen in the next step is handing over the design to artificial intelligence, and we can see Adobe Sensei coming up with in the Photoshop bundle soon. It's already in beta and available. Then we see something which is called like LogoJoy, who can create branding systems, and you can actually test them already on the customer. So you just got the first dirty work is done by artificial intelligence, and then you pick up which things you want to use and carry forward. So that's the way it goes with efficiency. Use artificial intelligence tools if they are available. And Zeppelin is a publication of design as developers' resource. So developers don't want to have some PNG or JPEG files or Photoshop files. They want to see that how far this element has to be, from the top or from the left, what is the size of the element. And using the Zeppelin, you can actually, developer can highlight the element, get all the colors out of what are needed for the programming, or also some small snippets of CSS or React or etc., which is really available in Zeppelin, and they are really good. And also InVision has this developer's resource available, but I can say that the Zeppelin is more like a pro version. It's fast and always works as expected. So my definition of the difference of user experience design and user interface design is I see UX design everything which is said with interaction design, pressing the door handle. I interact, interviews regarding the needs of the users, create some prototypes, information architecture, layout, testing with end users, and Google Analytics. And looking at UI design, user interface design, I see graphic design more, style, colors, illustration, infographic, typography, compositions, animations. So this is, right now I see more in the UI design part. So does it make any sense? Yes, no, wow? Wow, many wows, thank you. Okay. So to summarize what I was talking from the beginning of today's training of the design thinking, when looking at the discovering part of observing and interviewing the users, the output is personas creations. I can use them for the customer journey mapping or value proposition design or marketing strategy or whatever is needed. Then you brainstorm solutions. You will hopefully come to better problems. You will take this better problem and make a prototype, and I'll brainstorm technical solutions for that. And then using UX UI design, now you know the difference, yeah? And you deliver it by supporting the change management and in the organization. So then I can really say that this is well executed service experience design using design thinking. But there is one more thing.